going to start over here on the left with Andy Anders for Lead Warriors.
You mentioned the offensive line earlier. I just wanted to get your thoughts on those guys and how you felt that was addressed. I know you said you felt it was a really strong position that you guys hit.
Yeah, no, all those guys really have built a bond together. Man, when they take a picture together next to Tyler, Marcus, and Charlie, it's a good-looking group, some big dudes, and I like the way that they played their senior year. They competed. We'll get some Ohio guys in there, and it's going to be a good group. I think they have the right makeup. They're smart, they're tough, they're physical, they're athletic, and they care about the Buckeyes, man. And you got to build this thing inside out, and fired up about this class.
I know you can't comment on players who are not. The one no has not played. How much do you kind of empathize with his situation where his coach, the guy who's recruiting him, is gone? And how tough is it on you as Ohio State to not have the things right out? Yeah,
no, it's. I've said it before. I said it in the past before we were in these types of situations. This certainly. The way and the timing of all this, we're trying to get ready to go play in the end. That's the focus right now, and that part is not easy for anybody. And so at the end of the day, we try to make sure that we remind everybody that there's great stability here, and there's things that'll happen, but at the end of the day, this culture's strong, and there is strong stability here in a time when there's not a lot of stability, and so that's it. And we're just going to take every day as it comes. It's easy to get frustrated, throw your hands up. I've said that a million times. That's not going to happen. So we're just going to keep pushing and moving forward, and make sure that everybody understands that in this world where there's a lot that comes with it. This is still about relationships, and we're going to pour into these players and into these coaches, and that's our job. And so while it changes, it's still about that part of the game of football and coaching, and that's not going to change here at Ohio State. So we just got off the field. My mind's on Indiana and playing this game, but at the same time, we just had signing day today, which is just amazing to me. But we're going to keep swinging away, and we have to make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure our roster is as good as anybody in the country.
Steve Bellwagner.
Yeah, Coach, Indiana's offense gets all the publicity, but their defense is ranked right with you guys.
Yeah, good.
Category.
Excellent.
What do you see with them?
Excellent defense. They're fast. They're quick. They do use their hands really, really well. Opportunistic in terms of creating turnovers. Get their hands on a lot of balls. They're as good as anybody in the country. Really impressed with how they play, how physical they are, and so it's a great challenge for our offense, because you're right. It's not just one phase. In all three phases, they're as good as anybody in the country. It's the reason why they're ranked number 2 in the country. This is a really, really good football team that it's going to be a battle on Saturday night.
Ryan, with what Brian is having trouble right now and trying to do two things with you guys, how much of this is an opportunity for a guy like Keenan to step up and maybe take on a little bit more responsibility and not to put this on your mind, but technically audition for a bigger role?
Yeah, what a great opportunity for everybody to step up. Everyone has to step up, and I think that those guys have worked really, really hard this year, and they want to finish off this regular season, because this is kind of part of the regular season. That's the way we look at it, the right way. And when you're a coach, it starts with recruiting, and then it goes to development of players, and then scheme, and everything, the game planning, and then everything that comes with it. And so when you look at those guys in a room, they've all been a big part of that this year, and now they all have to step up even more. And like you said, you can look at it a bunch of different ways, and this is an opportunity. So looking forward to seeing how these guys do the rest of the week and throughout the month.
Ryan, how is the game plan different, for instance, last week when you knew you're going to be outdoors, maybe bad weather, versus this week when you know you're going to be indoors? How does that affect how you guys think about the game plan?
A little bit, in terms of you look ahead to see maybe if there was going to be wind or snow. As we got closer to the end of the week, we knew there was going to be some snow possibly in the second half, and that forecast was pretty accurate for about 3 or 4 days out. That's usually not the case in the Midwest in November. Usually, if it says it's going to be one thing at like midweek, as you guys know, it's not that way on Saturday. So we're always ready for everything. when you're playing in a situation like this, as you can tell, we turn the heat up in here and want to make sure the guys know they got to hydrate. I mean, it's a different, it's 40, 50 degrees different than the way we've been practicing and playing. But we knew that was going to be the case, and so we've been practicing in these conditions, and it'll be a clean game and a fast track.
Two more, Cameron T.
Ryan, Indiana, like you just talked about their defense, they love to play with all three of their linebackers on the field. They trust them in the pass. What's not about that group that maybe there's no pass, but also aggressive?
Yeah, no, they're good. They diagnose plays, and they played a lot of football. They've seen a lot of football. They play a lot of plays. They play a lot of defense, and you can tell they're all football junkies. I don't know them. I've actually never really spent much time with any of those guys, but I can just tell watching the game that's the way they play, and they can do multiple things. They're versatile, like you said. They can play man, they can match, they can play zone, they can blitz, they play the run well. And I can tell they're well coached just watching them.
Wrap it up with Tim.
Yeah, just one. Can I ask one quickie? Or Jeremiah and Carnell, like you told us on Tuesday, are they looking better than this time a week ago? How would you explain it?
Yes.
Yeah. And number two, when you look, I said this back in the summer, and people were looking at me funny with Mendoza, and then a couple other guys Indiana acquired. They look better to me than they did a year ago. Do they look the same to you? How would you describe what they look like on video?
Well, they're into year two, and when you're into year two, there's a couple of things that are different. One, their scheme is even more advanced than it was the year before, and two, they've upgraded in a lot of areas in terms of recruiting and talent. So, yeah, I think all areas are upgraded from last year. As good as they were last year, they're better this year, and you can see based on what you're seeing on the field and how they played the season. So, they're a very good team, and they have some of the same pieces, but even fortified it with better talent in some areas, and so again, that's why they're number 2 team in the country.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thanks, right?